All right, so this is me, Leonid. Today I'll be reading a work I found in the trash. So I was just walking through the Miznardova street to like print stuff for my brother's like I guess kindergarten bullshit or whatever. Um, and then I found this in the trash, and this is like a play written by certain Ivan V. I'm not going to say their full surname because I think that would count as doxing a bit. Or at least I would be very mad if somebody said my full name and, surname on here. Um, and they or someone they gave this play to threw it into the trash. And I've been like thinking about this play ever since. I found it like 3 weeks ago. But today I had nothing better to do, so I've just read it. And the thing is that this play is it's like 20 pages long, and somebody threw it in the trash. So like my mind was animated with these ideas of how the hell did it end up in trash? Like who would throw out like to a 20-page artwork essentially? That's a very weird thing to do. So I've been thinking, and I had like three possible scenes that would end up with this in the trash. So first of all, Ivan himself or themselves, because it's like a masculine name, but maybe they're non-binary. Who knows these days? You know, in a positive way. So maybe they threw it in the trash because they were embarrassed by it. They printed it out because there was a print shop nearby. That's why I was walking that way, because I wanted to print out shit for my brother who was going to into the kindergarten or whatever. So maybe they printed it out, read like the first page, and they were so embarrassed by it that they threw it in the trash. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that they give it to somebody almost immediately after, or maybe like a week afterwards or whatever, and that person saw it and was immediately embarrassed by it, but wanted to wait for a moment where Ivan wouldn't see them throwing it away. So they waited, and when they were on the street, they just like threw it into the trash immediately. That's also one possibility. A third possibility is that this play actually got like played. That somebody like said all of these lines out loud in like a scene in like a small theater, I guess. And this was given to the viewers as like a gift, as like a help for them to understand the play better. So this is like the third option. The third option is like the most like happy one, I guess, the most optimistic one, that this was actually like like a show that was put on for viewers. But I don't think it was. There are like a few typos in here. I think this is a draft, so I'd wager it's like there one or two from the options I have like presented. But I liked it in the sense that it made me feel weird. I like whenever artworks make me feel weird or what have you, because that speaks to a certain way in which the authors are able to like break out of the boundaries of the art form they have chosen, right? So this is like a script for a play, but there is a singular character, and there is also like a half a character of like the AI. That's like a bit of an uncanny thing, But there's also the way in which like the dialogue itself is structured. It's meaningless. Like if you take it as a whole, it's like a bit gibberish. It's like bullshit strung together. But it tells like 5 separate stories that then connect into like a life biography of this character that's speaking. And I like that. I like this like switching between meanings. I had this friend that used to do that, and I really liked that about her, and it was like a very, very cool thing she did. So that's one thing, and yeah. So I'm just going to get into reading this. It's dedicated. Ivan wrote as a dedication that it's dedicated to my father. Everything disappears. Thank you for everything. So, I also feel like kind of weird because I'm going to ridicule this work a bit because it's weird, it's hard to read. I'm going to like blame it for being so, I guess, hard to read aloud on a single take thingy or to video thingy. But I'm not going to record it I'm not going to like take it seriously like an audiobook for like whatever. This is like something I found in the trash. I'm giving way too much attention already. So like, chill out, baby. All right, so I won. That's exactly why I don't like when you talk like that, Michael. Because in the end, you have to admit, neither you nor I can possibly know what's really on their minds, and I certainly don't know either. Voice Iowan. The program might be implemented on a voluntary basis or by court order. You see, Michael, real life is always half a step ahead of us. I don't think she's telling the truth, Michael. At least, I never heard any such conversation with her. Please, carry it in very carefully. I'm asking you, don't scratch the walls. Put it right here. This is where it belongs. Good. Nothing got scratched. Thank you, boys, for your good work. You know perfectly well that women like her are always prone to at least a twofold exaggeration. Listen, Daniel, if you ever look Esther in the grandma's room again, I will drown you in the pool. Do you hear me? Do you hear me, Daniel? I'm absolutely serious. You know perfectly well that women like her are always prone to at least a threefold exaggeration. I'm not joking, Daniel. Did you understand me clearly, Daniel? I didn't say anything special to her. Maybe I delicately let her understand that she was behaving like a slut. If you ever look Esther in the grandma's room again, I will drown in the pool. And I'm not joking. So what? So what, Michael? Who cares what she said? That I supposedly told her so makes you. Who cares? Who cares what I might have said? But I'm not telling you. I never discussed anything like that with her. You know perfectly well that the women like her was prone to at least a total exaggeration. Bring your phone, Daniel, sweetheart. Can you hear it ringing somewhere, Daniel? And what do you even care what some French tutor is saying? Can you hear it ringing somewhere, Daniel? Why should you even care what our son's French tutor is saying? Don't be afraid, Esther. He won't do it again, I promise to you. If you ever look Esther in Grandma's room again, I will drown you in the pool. And I'm not joking. The system has entered zero subject mode with maximal perceptual integration. So what if she has a good reputation at the university, Michael? Your anti-Semitic university has a terrible reputation anyway. Don't be afraid, Esther. He won't do it again, I promise to you. Don't you say... You say you don't care about her, but you keep letting her joke with you and throw these, lustful, idiotic looks at you. Did you really understand me, Daniel? Don't pay attention, Michael. She simply doesn't know how to control herself, and she doesn't know how to hold her tongue. Although if rumors start spreading at your university that you're having an affair with that stupid little French squirrel, put it right here. It's where it belongs. Good, nothing got scratched. Thank you, boys, for your good work. After all, we pay her to teach Daniel French, not to demonstrate her psychological instability to us. Her behavior demonstrates her psychological instability. She's a full-fledged terrorist. She's a liberal and a communist. Voice I won. HPA axis normalized, cortisol down, serotonin up, dopamine stable, parasympathetic activity up, HRV up, pulse 62 beats per minute, electrocortical patterns sinusoidal. Symmetrical, stress cascade halted, energy redistributed, the brain is in a state of metastable silence. Yes, I have the right, Michael. It's my earned right to warn my husband about all kinds of treacherous sluts. She's an anti-Semite and a communist, just like those damn French liberal double standard types, sex communists and sex abusers. And how can our university how can our universities tolerate such humiliation? Fine, I admit it. I spoke to her, my dear. Turn the sound down on your screen, Michael. It's very loud. I don't want you to keep shouting over it. Especially since it seems I'm saying something very important right now, my dear. Well, what did you expect, Michael? That French hypocrite flirts with my husband in my own house, not even realizing that I'm here. Right now, where my grandmother lives, not even realizing that right here lives my grandmother, a Jewish woman who, when she was just a little girl, a very little girl, in 2023 she went through a terrible hell, and the French communist, that anti-Semite, is making my eyes at you, Michael. Turn it down, especially since I think I'm saying something very important right now. Please turn it down of those damn news. They flooded our whole house. The whole world already knows about your anti-Semitic university. Turn off the awful noise, Michael. Our children shouldn't hear this. I told her, excuse me, Madame Julie, for the most banal name. But I'm not paying you to carry on dirty affairs with my husband. Turn it off! DMN. Residual activity in the low frequency theta range, PCC, spontaneous coherence sensory networks, ACC, resumption of harmonic activity without personal attribution, insular reactivation without affective coloring, gamma coherence rising in the 40-80 Hz range, global phase synchronization resulted without correlation to autobiographical networks. I hope I'm not stalling too much, I'm sorry. Understand, my dear, her behavior demonstrates complete psychological instability. You're not a little boy anymore, Daniel. You must understand that Esther is terrified when you lock her in Grandma's room. Can't you hear her crying behind the door? Begging you to let her out? My God, it's wonderful, Jill. Are you really not going to wear it anymore? It looks brand new. My God, your dress suits me so well, Jill. You really don't want to wear it anymore? But why? Why, Jill? Why don't you want to wear it anymore, Jill? It's beautiful. My God, it suits me so well. Do you really want me to give it to me? But Jill. Oh my God, thank you. It suits me so well. I wear it tonight to our family dinner. Michael promised to come home early and, from his damn job today, and so we decided to have a proper family dinner. Daniel, Esther, Michael, the whole family. It's so rare for us all to be together. Michael is always busy with his damn job. But why are you crying, Esther? What happened? My girl? Again? Diffuse cortical collapse, gamma coherence down, phase synchronization intermittent, DMC, FPCN, SN, autonomous islands, complete neural disintegration of the subject. My God, it's so beautiful! Don't you really feel sorry for parting with it? Jill? Please bring it in very carefully, I beg of you! Don't scratch the walls, put it right here, this is where it belongs! Didn't you notice anything, Michael? Didn't you notice anything, Michael? My God, Michael, the dress! How do you like my new dress, darling? Come on, take a look at me, my dear. How it is? Well, how do I look to you? Hey, well, how do I look to you? No worse than that French little fish of yours. Well, who cares what she says, Michael? She just wants to throw me off balance. She just wants to disturb my mental equilibrium. She simply knows that right now it's easier than ever to throw me off balance. There is no need to pay attention to what some leftist anti-Semite, and on top of that a French woman, is saying. We don't pay her to throw me off balance, we pay her to teach our son French. I Jill gave me to me yesterday evening. Isn't it magnificent? She said she doesn't like it anymore. That she would like to part it with it. Yes, exactly, that's what she said. And she would like to part with it. She said she would like to part with this dress. It's true, isn't it? This dress was made specifically for me. For me. And Jill thinks so too. The dress suits me incredibly well. Isn't it true? It was made specifically for me. And if you, Madame French fart, look at my husband like that one more time, I'll gouge your eyes out with a table knife. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure of what I'm saying, Madame. I'm not paying you to flirt with my husband, but to teach my son French. Well, who cares what you have to, what she might say? Michael, come quickly to the table. Children, Daniel, Esther, come to the table. Don't even say it, Joe. Like, the absolute majority of my acquaintances and friends are convinced that I'm an ordinary housewife, like all those convinced many of Michael's friends, these pompous idiots are convinced that I'm just sit alone and cook dinner for my husband, but you, Jill, you perfectly aware what a difficult job I actually have. I work from home, Your Honor. After all, I'm a patient recruitment outreach coordinator. Will try to understand, Father. After those monstrous words you said to me about your mother, that you said to me about your mother, about my grandmother, about your mother, these monstrous words. I'm an outreach coordinator at a university implant clinic, Your Honor. My grandmother, she's your mother, Your Honor. Father, how can you say such terrible things about her? Especially since you know what tragedy your mother lived through, like the fucking like as a child on the 7th of October. About your mother, what a tragedy. Our grandmother lived through on the 7th and to 134th and 92nd of October. Besides, you and I both know, Jill, that my workday starts at 6 a.m. and then it ends at midnight. Ever since I left that fascist university and took on this hellish job. And on top of that, I'm also your housewife, Your Honor, because the house and the children are entirely on me. So forgive me, Dad, but after everything you said to me, I can't speak to you anymore. At least for a while. At least my father died when and we never said goodbye, and I regret that so much. My father died, Jill, and I didn't even say goodbye to him. He was a terrible man, Jill. I work as an outreach coordinator at a university implant clinic, Your Honor. I work without weekends or vacations because I work as myself. Because I am myself. Integrated information fee. Because threshold fee, asterisk, internet work, mutual confirmation, open parentheses, DMN, like the double dot with like a, like bullshit, the bullshit double dot. FPCN, end of bracket, goes into 0, termination of global synchronization of the self. Hello, this is Judith from I1. Is now a good time to talk to you about your inquiry? This call may be recorded for quality purposes. Do I have your permission to discuss your health information? Scheduling a screening, televisit/clinic, sending emails, consent preview, directions, checklist, closing and follow-up. You'll receive a confirmation text and an email with forms. I'll check in 24 hours before the visit. And I organize all of this alone. I'm alone, and on top of that, the house and the children are all mine, Your Honor. Because my work is me, Mr. Welly. Because I work myself, Your Holiness, 24/7. Because I'm always myself. Voice I1. Oh fuck! Because you know what? Whenever there was like this like bullshit about like medicine and stuff, like oh like fee below threshold fee, like fucking asterisks, whatever. It's like voice I1. I just keep forgetting to say that for some reason. I forgot the first time and then I just didn't. But you know, just from this point on, I'm going to say it. But before that, I should have said it. I'm just doing bullshit. So, yeah, let's get back into it. Uh, Voice I1. The system is now passively monitoring cognitive activity without interfering. A calibrated self-integration sequence at the level of consciousness will then be activated. You will hear a neural network voice message. Hello, I am I1. I am connecting to you, your neural activity. My task is to help you become more stable, calm, and clear. Allow me to begin. Because I'm myself. I'm myself. Force I1, before I begin the integration process with your neural system, I want you to calm down and relax. Show me, allow me to play your beautiful music. Listen to this beautiful voice and beautiful melody, and then I will continue our integration. Listen to this beautiful voice and beautiful melody. Listen to this beautiful melody. 2448 3338 3828 5252 5702 5708. A housewife, that's me, without days off or vacations. Monday to Friday, from 6 a.m. to midnight. My weekends, from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. And also sexual service from Michael, who comes in the middle of the night exhausted, like squeezed out, like exhausted, like drained. What happened to Esther? Michael, kids, come to the table. What happened to Esther? Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to midnight, weekends from 9 to 2, because I am myself. Because I am myself. That's why I don't like it when you talk like that, Michael, because after all, you have to admit, neither you nor I know, I can't know what's really on their minds. They're just children, and they're... And your opinion on such serious matters, Michael, kids, come to the table. What happened to Esther? Again? Daniel, did you do it again? I warned you, Daniel. After all, you have to admit, neither you nor I can know what's really on their minds. They're just children, and their opinion on serious matters like sex or death. I left home when I was 17, Michael. Now I'm 45 and 44. I still hate my father. So, what's good about that, Michael? And what's good about any of this, Your Honor? I see everything, you sly Madame Julie. So what's good about it, huh? So what? Voice IO1. Integrated information. Phi. Below threshold. Phi asterisk. Internetwork mutual information. IDMNC. Fucked up like double dot. FPCN. Goes into 0. Termination of global synchronization of the self. No, I will not apologize to you, Madame Sexually Corrupted France. I'm absolutely sure of what I'm saying, and I can repeat it. I don't play you to flirt playfully with my husband, but to teach my son French. I am absolutely sure of what I'm saying, and if you look at my husband one more time with that French look of yours, you flirty, insatiable little meatball, I will gouge out your eyes with this table knife. And yes, I'm absolutely sure that I'm telling you this right now. I'm absolutely sure of what I'm saying. Children cannot reason about adult topics like sex and death. I warned you, Daniel. Hello, Jill, my dear. I'm calling you to thank you for the dress. Yes, Michael loved it. He loved me in your dress. He has such a wonderful... We had such a wonderful family dinner. Lately, we so rarely all get together. Michael has been working so much lately. What else has happened to all of these people for them to finally understand that the end times are coming? There, calm down, my daughter. I promise you, he'll never do it again. Calm down, Esther, I promise you. The end times, I promise you. I'm calling to thank you for the dress, Jill. Can you imagine? The slut! Our son's French tutor. That slum. Slut! Madame Julie is openly flirting with my husband. Daniel, I want you to answer me immediately. Why did you look Esther in the grandmother's room again? After we talked recently, I promised myself, and I promised myself in front of you, and after in front of you, I promised myself, Michael, that's enough. Let's stop talking about it. I think we've exhausted the time limit for discussing this crazy Madame Gestapo, Julie. I want to have dinner with my beloved family, not discuss French sluts. Yes, Jill, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We so really get together, and I'm not even sure we'll ever get like this again. And I told them that, Jill, thank you for letting me speak and for listening to me. There is really no one else I can share this with. I feel like something is happening to me, Jill. I feel like something is disappearing from me, Jill. I think something is disappearing from me, Jill. Jill! Something is disappearing from me, Jill. Voice I1. Neural implant I1 on invasive neuro. This is like a longest text, bro. Like, there's a lot of to read of it, right? An invasive neural program, operation gun, the basis of advanced artificial intelligence implanted using a next-generation neural chip compatible with biological tissue. Its primary function is the correction of neuropsychological disorders, the optimization of cognitive patterns, and the formation of stable emotional regulation in the user. The program is also used as a part of court-approved alternative to incarceration, replacing imprisonment with neural therapy. Thank you for letting me vent. Good night, Jill. And once again, thank you for the dress. It's wonderful. Michael, do you really like my dress? Although it's not new at all, it's Jill's dress. Michael! Do you really like my dress? Michael, do you really like my new dress? Really, it's wonderful, Michael. Voice IO1, neurochemical convergence, glutamate up, GABA down, 5-HD regulation weekend. Neuronal like being like fucking protein excitement. Up. Inhibition threshold gone. Hyperoscillation of images flow without selection. If you, Madam Liberal Slut, look at my husband like that one more time, I will gouge out your eyes with this table knife. Good night, Jill. And once again, thank you for the dress. It seems to me that something is happening to me, Jill. Something is happening to me, Jill! Jill! It seems that something is happening. It's appearing somewhere. Today you can't sleep with me, Esther, because Daddy is sleeping at home tonight. Today, Daddy is sleeping in our bed. Today, Daddy is sleeping with me. There, don't cry. Come here. Don't cry. I promise, when Daddy leaves again, you will sleep with me. I promise you. He will never do it again. I promise. He will never lock you in there again. Do you understand me, Daniel? No, my daughter. Grandmother cannot hear you. She's very old and understands nothing. Our grandmother has not understood for a long time. She does not understand that you are her grandchild. And I'm her granddaughter. Listen, Michael! In the same apartment with you, in the next room, lives our grandmother. And the woman who has a child went through all of this terrible hell of October 7. As a child went through all the terrible hell. As a child went through like 586, 70, 1096, 1492, 1939, 1942, 7th of October of 2023. October, February, November. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, Michael, that's why my mother died very early. You know, my father abandoned me. And crow gets tangled in the wires. It will die now. The crow will die. And watch as the wretch calmly works at your department. You know perfectly well, Michael, I stopped speaking to my father when I was 17. She works at your department, Michael. At 17, I moved into the United States, and we never saw each other again. Because he says monstrous things to me about my mother. And on top of that, she's your son friend. In 17, I moved to the United States. Monstrous words about his mother. Because he says monstrous words to me about his mother. Your grandma no longer recognizes us, Esther. Our grandmother no longer recognizes. Ooh. You, Daniel, about his mother, father. And besides, no one really is capable of fixing what has happened, or may not happened, or what might have already happened, what should already have happened, and maybe already soon happened. Maybe it has already happened, Michael. Maybe it has already soon happened, my dear. Maybe soon everything is disappearing, Jill. Good night, Jill. The day is disappearing, Jill. The day is disappearing, Jill. Voice I1, emotional regulation, amygdala hyper up, HPA axis, double dot, CARH, up, ACTH, up, cortisol up, limbic dominance, impulsive reactivity. No, she doesn't recognize us anymore, and so there is no need to get into her room and desperately not to look Esther in there. Do you understand me, Daniel? I'm not joking with you, Madame Stinking Camembert. If you look at my husband again with that playful, whorish French look, I will gouge out your eyes with this table knife. And grandmother doesn't recognize anymore. Can you imagine how hard it is to live with your own grandmother who no longer recognizes me, Jill? Good night, Jill. Thank you for letting me vent. Besides I have no one. Jill, and thank you for the dress. It's so wonderful, and that this dress is so wonderful. Your grandmother went through so much as a child. Your grandmother was terrified as a child. Very, very terrified. I am very terrified, Jill. And this is why your grandmother deserves silence. Your grandmother deserves to die in silence. Hold Me Water, The Legacy of Tired Wet Pillars and Loneliness, and then Boston. These are poems by George Merle Gray, my favorite American poet from Boston. Hold me, water, among the tired and wet pillars of the legacy of meaningless and useless times, and loneliness in the water, and knife in the hands of water, a table knife of water, the fate of fate. Lately, I've been happening to be more and more often. Michael, that I feel I do not love you, everyone who is like you. Hold me, water, the legacy of tired pillars. We are not paying you to make eyes at my husband here, but to teach our son Daniel. Thank you for your dress, and good night, Jill. Oh. This is like a lot. I don't know at what point I dropped my mic. I think it might have been as soon as I stopped reading this, because I'm just let me tell you, this is difficult to read, right? There is this guy George Mulgray poem spliced into it, so it's difficult to read. And besides that, there are three different from what I've got, 3 or 5 different time periods of this person's life spliced into this whole thing. It's fucking difficult, bro. It's difficult to get a hang of this. So one more puff. Let's get into it, boys. And girls and non-binary people. Daniel, bring me my phone. It's ringing somewhere. I need to place an order online. Daniel, bring me my phone. It's ringing somewhere. Help me, Esther. Daniel, help me. Set the place on the table. I'm placing several orders online at the same time. It's ringing somewhere. Please carry it in very carefully. Please don't scratch the walls. Like that, yeah. Carry it and place it right here. This is where it belongs. It's good that nothing got scratched. Thank you, guys, for your good work. It's ringing somewhere. Yes, my dear, exactly. I really do have far too many duties and things to do. Thank you guys for your good work. My mother died when I was just a child, and my father was the son of a Polish diplomat who said such monstrous things about his mother, a Jewish woman. You wouldn't believe it, Jill, but I make around 50 calls a day. I register on online platforms in order to order in order the very best, and also I have to listen to this news. Like, I have to watch all these boring films. I have to because I don't want to, fall behind, Jill. Because I don't want to fall behind them, all my acquaintances and friends, behind society, and so I have to like listen to this news and if only on the radio we watch these series, and if only from Friday to Saturday, if only from Saturday to Friday. My father is a Polish diplomat because I was born in Warsaw, Jill. My father was a Polish diplomat because that's how it happens, Jill. About his own mother, monstrous words, Jill. I think I wanted to you, Daniel. I warned you. You're a German Gestapo woman, Jolie. Voice Iowan. In their speech is declined into separate utterances without a subject. Emotion is expressed as there is pain, sound, color, and not as mine. There is no one who would be I. There are only configurations of content. Is this like cool? Unfortunately, from early morning until evening, I am connected to the network. Orders, views, communication, applications, and I think I'm very, very tired, Jill. It seems this is all too intense for me, too active. I think I am very tired, Jill. In the center of my attention, there is too much, and the focus of my attention constantly jumps me from one object to another, but there are too many of these objects, Jill. There are too many objects, Jill. Too many objects. It hurts too much. There are too many of them. It hurts too much, Jill. I am alone. There's no one. Where is everyone else? Jill, where is everyone, Jill? Are you here, Jill? And where is everyone else, huh? Where did everyone go? This whole damn world. And if nothing actually exists at all, Jill? I'm very lonely, Jill. People are very lonely, Jill. I'm very lonely, Michael. And I'm only very lonely, Mom. I'm only very lonely, Mr. Welly. My mother died when I was 5 years old, Your Honor, and since then I have always lived alone. I am only alone, Your Honor, and all of you are only alone. We are all only alone, Mr. Welly. Are you only very lonely, aren't you? Are all of you very lonely, aren't you? And aren't you lonely? Well, aren't you? Well, aren't we all lonely? Where aren't we? But don't think I'm like complaining, Jill. No, no, of course not. I'm not complaining. Voice Iowan. Self-reflection and moral control. VM PFC dash off. DLPFC dash deactivated. VLPFC dash no moral regulation. GABA down. Glutamate up. Result cognitive control lost between intention and movement. No distinction. I have HDAD and I make around 50 phone calls a day, Joe. I have depression and I spend all day checking emails and messages. It's only me who does it. On a scale from 0 to 10, how would you rate your pain today? This is not a medical advice. I'll schedule you with a clinician. To proceed, I'll send you a brief consent contract. May I confirm your email? The initial screening takes 30 to 40 minutes via Zoom. Please have your ID and insurance card. If you miss the slot, text me reschedule and I'll call you back within 15 minutes. General Precision Order as set by Voice IO1. Full brain mapping using MRI and PAT scanning. Minimal and basic implantation of the chip into the tempoparietal region of the brain. 3. Initiation of the activation of the impulse sequence Secure connection of the cloud and initial synchronization. 5. Completion of the implant registration in the I1 Neuro Cloud system. After successful installation, the chip enters adaptation mode. And on top of that, all the household chores are on me. Michael doesn't even know how the money from our account ends up in the accounts of the city utilities. Michael doesn't even know how the money from our account ends up in the pockets of the school teachers. How our money ends up in the children's clothing stores. How I buy all of these groceries with our money, and how I listen to the news and watch the series. Michael doesn't know how I watch films. He doesn't even know how I watch series. He doesn't even know how I'm in constant stress. Well, how I worry about an enormous amount of things at the same time, Joe. Don't you dare look your sister in the grandmother's room, Daniel. Everything is happening at the same time. In my cursed brain, everything is occurring at the same time, all at once. My mind is dreamed up by a mind. The creator of my mind is my mind. Of a mind, the mind. Turn off the horrible sound. Those disgusting news that have flooded our whole house, Michael, and because our children must not hear this. I tell her, excuse me, Madame Lousy named Joey, but I'm not playing you for her to have like dirty affairs with my husband. Turn it all off! Turn it all off! Voice Arrow 1. VMPFC. Fuck. Ventromedical prefrontal cortex. DLPFC. Dorsolateral. VLPFC. Ventrolateral deactivated. Goes into having found my adopted son at the bottom of the pool, having found a toy built knife in my right hand, having found a French Satanist liberal tutor, Madame Julie bleeding, immediately called the police. Voice I1, OFC, orbital frontal cortex, loses consequence control, goes into ACC, anterior cingulate cortex, silent, goes into steady beeps in the phone line. Steady beeps in the phone line! Voice I1, insula dash silent, goes into weak interception slash mirror neuron slash empathy network dash offline, goes into bring me phone, Daniel, my son, do you hear? It's ringing somewhere. I still need to check the mail, check the messages on the phone, check whether Daniel is on time for the French lessons. Check whether Esther has returned from school, check lunch, check dinner, check 24/7. I'm housewife. I do many things at the same time. Voice I1, allow me to play with your beautiful music. Listen to this beautiful voice and beautiful melody. Listen to this beautiful voice and beautiful melody. Listen to this beautiful and beautiful melody. Having found my son Daniel at the bottom of the pool, I immediately called the police. Having found that wretched bleeding Madame One-Eyed Bandit Julie, I called the electronic communication service of our district. As soon as I saw what happened outside of our windows in the wire, I immediately called the district electrician. Bring me my phone, Daniel, my son, do you hear? It's ringing somewhere. Please don't hang up, just 1 minute, Mr. Welly. Her eye flung itself upon the table knife in my hands, Your Honor! The eye flung itself upon the knife, Your Honor! What is good about that, Michael? The eye flung itself upon the knife. The fate, don't hang up, Mr. Welly. I'll be right back. It seems that something has happened to my son at the bottom of the pool. Luckily, the electrician of our district lives in our street. So as soon as I discovered that Madame Julie's eyes suddenly flung itself onto the knife, the fate, luckily the electrician of our district, Mr. Raleigh, lives right across from our house. Luckily, when a glass falls to the floor and shatters, everybody shouts, "For luck!" And everybody shouts, "For luck!" For luck! And everybody shouts, "For luck!" Voice I1. Amygdala BLE dash basolateral CAA dash central up. Goes into fear slash rage reactivity PAG Periaquendecto gray dash preparation for aggression goes into defensive aggressive patterns. PFC goes into, and also the other way around, amygdala disconnect, limbic goes into, limbic system acts without cortical break. But alas, our grandmother no longer recognizes us children. Don't switch it off, Michael. I'm watching this series with one eye and I'm watching, so there is no need to go into her room. Do you understand me, Daniel? Hello? Please don't hang up, Mr. Welly. Don't hang up, Mr. Welly. Everyone shouts, for luck! All of this is happening in my brain at the same time. Our grandmother has stopped recognizing us, and we take care of her body, which is still alive. Her body of the body of our grandmother still eats and lives. Our grandmother eats and lives. I think there is no longer any point in you visiting our grandmother, since she only now is the physical body of an elderly woman. She no longer knows that she exists in this damned world, in which eyes throw themselves into knives, and in which pools drag out children down to their very bottom. Well, will you not deny that in our world, eyes throw themselves at knives, and pools drag out children to the very bottom? Please, bring it in very carefully. Please don't scratch the walls. Like that, yeah. Bring it in and please place it right here. Yeah, this is where it belongs. Good thing nothing got scratched. Thank you, guys, for your good work. Turn off those damn news. Michael, they have flooded their whole house. Children, Michael, come to dinner. I warned you, Daniel. I'm so glad now that we have a piano in the house, Michael. Thank you, guys, for your good work. Voice I1, HPA-axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, double dot, THR, up, ACTH, up, cortisol, up, acute stress. Hello, Mr. Welly. This is your neighbor Judy again. Yes, I called you this morning, but I couldn't reach you. Actually, it is customary for cultured people to call back. Actually, for half a day now, we have been looking at the burnt corpse of a crow that has electrocuted and is now hanging right in front of our house on the wires. Right in front of our windows. And my children are forced to look at this charred bird's corpse? And who will remove it if it's not your service? What do you mean? It's not your responsibility? Then whose is it? Voice I1. EEG, frontal beta suppression, reduced frontal activity, theta burst, delta spikes, state of high reactivity, disintegration of control. I listened to what they say on the news portals, heard what they say on playgrounds and elsewhere. In all those places, everyone says the same thing. You will die soon. They are already dead and you will die soon. They have already been killed and you will soon be killed. Everyone else says the same thing. They have all been killed and you will all soon be killed. Having found a table knife in my right hand, I'm not giving up, Jill, as one of my favorite American poets wrote. We are all carried by the river into the meaningless of time. Grandmother no longer recognizes us. Good night, Jill. Voice of I1 / text squiggly brackets self equals F normal brackets / text squiggly brackets DMN plus / text squiggly brackets interception plus / text squiggly brackets control / squiggly brackets D squiggly brackets DT divided by phi underscore / text squiggly brackets self less than 0 / right arrow / text squiggly brackets loss of global integration right arrow / text squiggly brackets ego dissolution I brackets / text squiggly brackets DMN fucked up double periods / text squiggly brackets FPCN / down arrow full stop, I think / quad / row underscores slash text fuck squiggly bracket DMN slash no DMN dash FPCN slash 20 slash quad slash right arrow quad slash text squiggly bracket no continuous self model period. And having found a table knife in my right hand, and having found a bleeding madame, let the French level carry you into the meaningless of time. The soul flows out of the person drop by drop until the last drop of the soul remains. I warned you, Daniel, the last of the soul. The last drop of the soul. Drip. Voice I1, periphery, HR, 148 slash minutes, skin conductance up, pupils maximally dilated, GABA down, glutathione up, inhibition weakened, excitation increased, 5 dash HTTLRP S dash S MAO dash A low COMT val slash val dash tendency towards lower monominderic regulation BDNF down dash reduced plasticity slash stress resistance SMC goes into PNC goes into M1 motor preparation chain motor pattern distracted movements of hand and body into water. Whoever you are, great God, if the name Brian pleases you, then Brian be your name. There is nothing in the world that can compare to you. Only you can free my soul from pain vein. Voice I1, vestibular feedbacks, balance disturbance, dry heel, reflex partially superseded, aspiration, I'm not paying you to flirt, orbital impact goes into retinal laceration, optic, nerve sharing, dash impact penetration to the orbital region, retinal rupture, damage to the optic nerve, risk of irresistible blindness. Praise the Brian with a song of victory. This is to be wise. Through suffering, through pain, the Brian leads people to mind, leads them to understanding. Voice I1, distortion zone detected. System begins elimination of primary dysfunction sources. Memory of suffering, relentless at night, in sleep tightness hurts, forcing wisdom. The Brian's no compassion, no, the Brian uses you. Voice I1, attention, you will now hear beautiful music. Relax, let the magical notes of the great music heal you. Oh, fuck. Be like surprised or not, but this takes a lot out of me. Like this is not easy, I guess, so to speak. First of all, it's like 30 something degrees outside. I'm like, oh no, like a full suit, so it's like hot outside, and it's hot in here. I'm sweating as fuck. Also, I want to drink alcohol. Because ever since I started recording this, I don't know how long this is going because I've been recording this on like my laptop like camera, so I have no idea how long this is going for. But you know, all right. So this is also like a heads up. There are like I think like 5 pages left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pages left. This is where I like stopped reading it. I have no idea how it ends. That's the beautiful part of it all. I stopped. So that my first reaction to how it ends, like I read like the last few lines, but I did not read how it actually ends, you know? So this is like my authentic reaction to it. So beware of that. It seems that great culture can no longer save you, madame. Robed in broad daylight, Louvre, Julie. Voice I1. Listen to this magnificent music. Relax and let the magical notes of this great music heal you. It seems that great culture will no longer pour you from the bottom of the pool, poor Daniel. Voice, I won. Now imagine people living in an underground dwelling, like a cave. From childhood, their legs and necks are bound so that they can only look straight ahead. Behind them, a fire burns, and between the fire and the prisoner runs a road. People carry various objects, and their shadows fall on the wall in front of their prisoners. And if these people could speak, they would think that what they see is reality itself. He says it because this is his son, Your Honor. Of course, he says this because it's his son, Your Honor. Whom I only I raise because Michael is always working. He's always working. I repeat, Your Honors, I immediately called the police and informed them what had happened. Actually, cultured people are expected to call back, Mr. Welly, and after all, birds that have died on the wires are the only responsibility of the city services, which is why I am calling you, Mr. Welly. I repeat, my husband feels an acute sense of guilt for not spending enough time with his son, for not keeping an eye on him, including on that very day when the 12-year-old boy was playing alone by the pool. Yes, I believe Daniel was a monster, because he truly was. Not because of that. Listen, Your Honor, this boy locked my daughter Esther in the grandmother's room and caused her many other sufferings. He would beat her and bite her and constantly scare her, so that the poor girl would scream in her sleep for weeks because she would have nightmares. I repeat, only one person is guilty for what had happened, my husband. I repeat, this is what you said, my French daughter's son. I repeat, it was a leftist, an anarchist, I repeat, who made cunning, sly eyes at my husband. And so it is not surprising that one of those sly little eyes threw itself right onto my knife. The fate of fate, Mr. Welly. If you do not leave Esther alone, Daniel, if you do not leave our poor grandmother alone, she has earned the right to die in silence, because she has earned the right to die in silence. The table knife digs into the lies of her eyes. The table digs death out of her cunning little eyes. You are crying bloody tears, Madame Julie. Death is the main judge, Your Honor. I repeat, death is our main judge, Your Honor. You do not go near water. Everything is disappearing, Jill. Everything is disappearing, Jill. I did something terrible, and now I'm terrified, Jill. Of course, the court of enemy offered me an alternative correction, Jill. Either prison or alternative correction. Do you understand, Jill? You understand there is not much choice. Especially since I cannot calmly sit in prison while my husband, his dead one-night lover, is my daughter Esther, Your Honor. Of course, I agreed to the neuro implant, Jill. After all, I work at the company myself as a patient recruitment / outreach coordinator. He offered to insert it into my brain. Oh, well, of course, I choose alternative correction, Michael, because I'm not only a housewife, but I also work as a patient recruitment / outreach coordinator on a company that implants I1 neuron implants into the brain 24/7. 9 to 9:30, review of new leads, assignment of statuses, new goes into contacted, goes into qualified, disqualified, 9:30, 12:30, calls callbacks according to script, initial screening, booking slots, sending consent to contact. 13, 14, 92, 18, no-show rescue reminders via SMS call, rescheduling, 14, 15, 16, 117, CRM updates, e-documents, what to expect, emails, 19, 20, calling across other time zones, those unavailable during the day. 0 infinity, 1.613, 7.288, 216, 6.1 and 9. After all, I am who I am, and then I will not sit in prison. How do you like it? That turn of events, Michael, huh? Huh, Michael, how do you like that twist, my dear? You thought that while I would be sitting in prison, you would call me busy raising our daughter? But now it turns out differently, you know? So I, of course, I naturally would like to choose the alternative path of correction, Your Honor, because I am afraid that while I sit in prison, my husband, together with that dead one-eyed bitch, will raise our daughter, especially since I work in a accompanying myself as a patient recruitment outreach coordinator. Huh, Michael? Especially, huh, Michael? How do you like that turn of events, Michael, huh? Voice I1. Destabilization of the mental state. The program increases its impact on neural activity. The process of displacement and substitution begins. Suppression of our upper frontal regions of complete dysfunction. The substitution of process enters the active phase. Pressure increased by 74%. Substitution process enters the final phase. When I was a little girl, my father took me with him to the funeral of Pope Francis. I was 8, 9, 12 years old, and I memorized everything. Everything. I remember everything, Your Honor. My father was a Polish diplomat, and he took me with him to the funeral of Pope Francis of Assisi. I was incredibly lucky as a child. I was at the funeral of Francis of Assisi. Francis of Assisi claimed that there is no death, and I was at his funeral, Your Honor. I chose the alternative path of correction. There is no death. This is of great importance, and that I remember everything, Your Honor. There is no death. Jill is my friend, Your Holiness, and besides, we have been friends for 20 years. My name is Jill. Jill is 20 years older than me. Of course, still exists, Your Honor, and she always appears at the exact same time when I want her to speak to her. This is amazing. All of you appear at the exact moment when I want it. This is amazing. Daniel is my husband's son from his first wife, but I have always treated him as my own son. And then when Michael and me had Esther, why are you crying, Esther? What happened, my daughter, again? Voice I1. Between action and subject, they may arise. Between action and subject, there may arise a post factum effect, a false sense of choice. They may arise an effect, a false sense of choice. A sensation of false choice may arise. I wish 2 children alone, Your Honor, because my husband is always at work. But I was able to become pregnant, and our daughter Esther was born. I have 2 children alone, including his child, our child, because I have always treated Daniel as my own son. Thank you for the dress, Jill, and good night. Having found a knife in my right hand, because then she was lying on the floor, and her soul was flowing out of her through the gouged out eye. Her entire being flowed out of her through her eye, because we are not paying you to make eyes at my husband, but to teach our son Daniel French. And instead of sitting in prison, I choose the program of alternative correction. How do you like that option, huh, Michael? Good night, Jill. Voice IO1, neural activation, circuit, phase 1. Primary mapping is constructed via fMRI plus diffusion Terson imaging, DTI. The system initiates low amplitude, high frequency stimulation in the ACC, insula, and VMPFC. Compensatory rebinding loop is activated. A self-model reassembly chain. DLPFC, VLPFC desynchronization, signal desynchronizers between volitional regulation and semantic self-awareness regions. Hold Me Water, the legacy of tire-withered pillars, and loneliness of our damned Boston. These are poems by George Milgray, my favorite American poet from Boston. Hold Me Water, among the tired and wet pillars of the legacy of meaningless and useless times, the loneliness and the water and knife of the heads of water. A table knife water? The fate of fate. Voice I1. All commands are processed through subcortical interpretation of impulses. All activity is recorded in the session log with 256-bit encryption. This is why I don't like when you speak like that, Michael, because after all that, admit it, neither you nor I can know what is really on your mind, because as great Sufi Hamrat Ibrahim Khan once said, as my favorite American poet George Milgray from Boston once said, every person is a note and God is music. Children may not yet understand this, Michael. Every person is a note and God is music. Children may not understand this, Your Honor. Voice IO1. Emergency shutdown is possible via biometric panel or by physical signal. George Milgray. Fate of fate. hold me water among the tired and wet pillars of legacy, of meaningless and useless times. There where meaning is lost and faith in the self is lost, I am only faith in the self. I am faith in the meaning. Meaning is only faith in the self. Abuse is not what I came into this world for, Michael, and guilt is not what I came into this world for, Your Honor. Guilt is not what I came into this world for, Your Honor. This is why I love this poet, Milgrave. This is why I love his poem by heart. Fate, my dear, be careful. Fate of fate, be careful, my dear. Among the tired and wet pillars, gondolas and sound of meaningless and useless times, fate, be careful, washes away meaning of fate. Fate is I am fate, I am the fate of fate. Fate is not what I was born to this world for. Father, this is what I love. This is why I love this poet. That is why I have a cruel heart. Not go near the water, Daniel. Cunning and lies. That is why I came into this world, Madame Julie. Therefore, do not go near the water. Do not go near the water. Where do you stand? When do you stand by the edge? Be careful, my dear. Do not go near the water. Do not go near fate. Do not approach your fate, fate of fate. Voice I1. The presence of Fergam is confirmed. Emotional response deactivated. State stable. Bring it in very carefully, like that. Bring it in and place it right here. Good thing. Nothing has got scratched. Thank you guys for a good work. Tomorrow I will buy sheet music and we will play my favorite music, Michael. Good thing that nothing got scratched. Thank you guys for good work. Great music. Like all great art will save us, Michael. Forgive me. Rather that I did not say goodbye to you, I advise you before death to listen to beautiful music and relax, Father. All of the magical notes of this music to carry you to heaven. Every person is a note, and music after death may exist, Father. And what if there is none? What if there is none? Absolutely no music after your death. Forgive me, Father. I have realized that I'm saying this very loudly. I think, judging by the fact that it's like dark outside, it's very late. Voice. There are 3 pages left, so like, yeah. Voice I1. Full sensory synchronization with external environment, perception of smells, but without emotional associations, color perceptions, saturated, precise, visual filters operating in enhanced mode, contrast increased, hearing sharpened, pulse slowed. What if no great culture awaits you at the bottom of the pool, Daniel? Every person is a note, and God is music. Voice IO1, program activated. System has completed neural adaptation. What if this great world culture flows out of your own cunning little eye together with all your French Louis Voltaire blood, Madame I throwing itself on the knife, Julie? Every person is a memory, and God is a tragedy. It's impossible to escape from God, Michael, and it's impossible to escape from one's own memory, Your Holiness, because as one great Sufi said, every person is a tragedy, and God is a memory. 7th, 17th, 22nd, 11th, every day, 24/7. Well, you know it, Jill. You know what me, Jill? She always appears when I think of her, Your Honor. You know me, Jill? Every person is I, and I am suffering, Your Holiness. Voice I1. By default, the following has been selected for you. Mode number 3, calming. You may change it at any moment by simply formulating mentally change mode. Don't be afraid, Esther. You won't do it again, I promise you. Listen, Michael, in the same apartment with you, in the next room, lives our grandmother, a woman who as a child went through this entire horrifying hell, who never really got through that hell, my dear, who lived her entire life in this endless hell, and person is hell, and God is the endless memory of that hell, my dear. Cognitive system failure critical. Oh, this is said by Voice I1, by the way. Because on these parameters, deep neuroethics mode will be activated. This means that each of my responses will be accompanied by careful guidance and stress regulation. Fate, my dear, be careful. Fate to fate, be careful, my dear. Voice I1, all processes are currently limited to the domain of regulation and executive cognitive functions. Didn't you understand me well, Daniel? I I will also say in court, I'm afraid that my husband Michael will raise my daughter Esther if the court decides to leave her with him. And he may instill in her false and very dangerous ideas about justice. The idea of justice is the most terrifying idea on the planet, Michael. The idea of universal justice is worse than the idea of fascism. Although it would seem, what could be worse than fascism? Only the idea of justice. Thank you for the dress. Good night, Jill. Voice IO1, baseline mapping narrow profile, analysis of neurotransmitter balance, lateral asymmetry, neural reactivity, and therefore, this is what I would like to say to you in closing, Mr. Welly. I know you will do is your own way anyway, and indeed that is how it should be. This is how you should act, Mr. Welly. You do everything right, perhaps everything for one thing, and that thing is caring for yourself, my dear. Because watching your life all these years, I have noticed that you work too much. My dear neighbor, your neighbor, you are well over 60 and you still, from morning till evening, deal with all of this electricity of our district. You race on a mini lift to the electrical wires outside. Fix! Wiring in our kitchens connects electric pumps in swimming pools and hang collards on the roof of elderly couples. I know, my dear Mr. Well, that you love your work so much, but isn't it time for you to devote a little more time to yourself? But by no means should you think that I am trying to interfere into your life or give you advice. I am absolutely sure you do not need anyone's advice, especially from a woman like me, a housewife who has done so many terrible things, and yet I will allow myself to give you one piece of advice. And I do this solely out of gratitude for the fact that you all this time you have been fixing the light for all of us. So here is what I will say. Devote the remaining time of your life only to yourself. Engage it with your feelings, your pain, your desires, and finally your own sense of yourself. This is my farewell advice to you, dear Welly. And knowing your character, I suspect you will not follow it. I suspect you will not follow it. Well then, it was important for me to tell you all this, and especially to thank you for the incident with the poor pro tangled in the wires right in front of our windows. Thank you for pulling out of the out of the wires, even though you by that moment it was already dead. But as we all know, by that moment many were already dead. So I thank you, Mr. Welly. I ask you, devote your life to yourself. When your life wires, or watch those terrible news on television, or when you cry remembering your recently deceased wife Corey, every second devote your life only to yourself. I know you will. Still do it only your way, Jill. Voice I1. DMN connectivity down. Medical prefrontal cortex reacts bilaterally with posterior cingulate presencutus. Reacts bilaterally with hippocampus. Dash reduced intra dash network integration fucked up double dot. DMN reacts bilaterally. Frontal dash partial network disconnected. And although my own character is far from perfect, your persistence will surpass these three people like me. Devote your life to yourself, Jill. Believe me, this is the only right action we can take in this life. Everything else has no meaning at all, as it has recently turned out no meaning at all. I know that this is for certain, And I ask you to believe me, Jill, because in this universe, Michael, exists only one single life, and it's yours. There exists only your life, Mr. Welly, and no other life besides yours exists, or can exist. That is why I love you, Esther. That is why I love you, Mom. Only knowing that you do not actually exist, I can truly love you, Father, knowing that there is only me. I can love any way I want. Anyone. That is why I love you, Mademoiselle Julie. That is why I love you, Daniel. Voice I1. Global broadcasting disrupted, long red frontal patrial checkers do not respond stable access to unified content. This is why I say that you work too much for others, seeking their approval and love, Mr. Welly. But no one can love you except yourself, because there is no one here except you yourself. There is only one Jill, and therefore I love you. There is only me, my grandmother Maria. Yourself, there is only me, Jill, and therefore I love you. There is only me, my grandmother Maria. I love you. Knowing that there is no one except me, I can love everyone, and therefore here is my farewell advice to you, Mr. Welly. Focus on your own life, and not on anyone else's, my dear, because as I have already said, no other life exists besides your own. I know you still do it your way, and indeed that is how it should be. That is how one should act. Your Holiness, you do everything right, perhaps except for one thing, and that thing is social laws. Your Honor, I repeat, you are wasting your time on this, because society is not only you, Mr. Welly, laws are you. You yourself, and you break them yourself. You punish yourself, and you try to exchange your life for the better, your personal life, at the bottom of your own pool. I think I warned you, Daniel. This is why I love you. Voice I1. Autobiographical teaching of episodes T-1 goes into T+1 not performed. My mother died of her own cancer, Your Holiness, and since we will never see each other again, I would like to say this to you in farewell, my dear French madame. I'm simply jealous of you because my husband always looked so happy and radiant with you. I could not bear it. But now, my dear Julie, I love you. Voice I1. Inner speech is declined into separate statements without subject. But now, my dear, my beloved Michael, I truly wish you happiness. Be happy, my dear, I love you. Voice I1. Indexical markers I/me, I/mine are removed from circulation. I am alone, and therefore I love you, Esther. I am alone, and therefore I want to ask you forgiveness from all of you. I ask forgiveness from all of you. Forgive me for having lived all these years without any love for you. Voice I1. Mutual information. IDMN. Fucked up double dot. FPCN. Goes down. Network integration. Metric declining. Forgive me for not loving you, my son. Forgive me for loving you, my mother. I did not love you, Michael. I did not love you. Jill, I did not love you. Mr. Willie, I did not love you. Father, I did not love our entire family, and all of you, until I understood with absolute clarity that I am alone here. Voice IO1. Unified self-broadcast does not change. Absence of center, absence of continuity, absence of me. And therefore, this is what I would like to say to you in closing, Mr. Welly. When I look out the window and watched you pulling that dead crow, tangling the wires opposite our house out of them and putting it into black plastic garbage bag, then I understood, Your Honor, that the death of that poor bird and the death of the 12-year-old boy lying in the bottom of my pool do not in any way add up into one single whole, Michael. And so, this is what I would like to say to you in parting, Judy. If you want to love, then you need to stop being anyone older than me. I am alone, and therefore, from now on, you no longer exist, Judy. I am alone. But what is happening to me right now? Voice I1. Now I will begin gentle synchronization with your cognitive sensory centers. Please relax. Do not make any decisions. Simply allow the process to begin. But I would like to understand what is happening to me. Something is happening to me, Mr. Welly. Something is disappearing, Jill. I am disappearing, Jill? Voice I1. At any moment, you may use mental commands, analyze current state, reduce anxiety, activate focus. When I was 12 years old, my father, a Polish diplomat, took me to the funeral of the Pope because there was no death. I was 12, 18, 24, 42, and I am continuous? And I am self is continuous. And I am always continuous. Myself is continuous, and I am always I. No, I'm always alone. No, your life is not continuous, Judy. People only think that God is a good guy because, in fact, God is a very bad and not at all a good guy. The quality of God depends entirely and completely on your own desire, Judy. You must always answer yourself the question: do you want to change this bad God into a good one? Voice I1. God is entirely and completely in your hands, Judy. God created people so that they might be able to change him. This is why I love you, Mr. Crow. This is why I love you, Madam Waiter. This is why I called the police as soon as it happened. Do not hang up, Mr. Welly. The external world exists. If I live, then my external world exists. My memories, my tears, my loneliness, my mother who died in my childhood, and my grandmother who raised me all still exist. My daughter Esther still exists. My dead son Daniel still exists. My dead son exists. Identification complete. The implant has been synchronized with your neural activity. Your data are protected by 256-bit encryption and stored in an isolated environment. If you do not like your gut, change him. My task is to help you become more stable, calm, and clear. God creates the world and the way you see it. Therefore, if you want to change the world, then change God. You are in the initial stage of neuroadaptation. I1. My dead ancestors exist. My nationality exists, and this is why I love you, water. This is why I resist you, Lord God. This is why my ancient people resist the French coming of God, because we suspect that the first coming will immediately become the second, and therefore the very last, and then the very first again, because religion is expectation, and expectation is a closed circle, and God, my dear Mr. Welly, this is one who will kill everyone. I am alone. Voice I1. Hello, I am I1. My purpose is to help you stable, calm, and clear. I am how connecting to your neural activity. The main obstacle of path to God is God. This is why I am against God. I am alone. I stand against you, God. I am alone. A note? A note is a closed circle, and that is exactly why I am alone. A word is a closed circle, and that is why am I alone. A faith is a damned closed circle, and God is the one who will kill us all. And the name God, I am alone, and this is exactly how only I can break this billionaire closed circle. Voice I1. DMN connectivity down. Medical prefrontal cortex. A bilateral engagement posterior circulate slash preconsensus. Bilateral engagement. Hippocampus reduce intra-network integration. Fucked up double dot DMN bilateral thing. Frontal patriarchal network. Disconnect. Every person is a node, and God is the one who will kill us all. Jail. Voice I1. Global broadcasting is disrupted. Long distance pronto patriarch circuits do not support stable access to unified content. Every person is a nationality, and God is the one who will kill our nationalities. Michael, I hope you are watching television, my dear. That is exactly what everyone else is about. Every person is a culture, and God is the one who will kill all cultures. Mr. Holy Francis, I hope you are reading the news on the internet, Your Holiness, because that is exactly what everything there is about. Every person is an individuality, and God is the one who will erase all individualities. Mr. Crow, I hope you are following the climate changes tangled in the electrical wires. You honor vocal, voice. I won. Post disintegration phase. Delta P state absolute integration mode self motor integration functional equals 0. But I will resist to the very end, Michael. I warned you, Daniel, that I will resist to the very end. This is the final page, actually. Madame One-Eyed Friends, blow after blow to the end. Blow after blow to the very end. Voice I1, neural activity is balanced. All network oscillations are phase synchronized. The parameter I, as excluded from the model, self-functional equals completed self goes into infinity divided by 0. Blow after blow of fate, blow after blow of the very end of fate. I will resist to the very end of my fate, my dear billion-year-old closed circle. I cannot go anymore, mother. The name of our God is I won, I surrender, Michael, I am alone. My father was a Polish diplomat. When I was 12 years old, he took me, erased me, water, erased me, my empire within me down to the bottom, erased my country within me down to the bottom, erased my love for myself within me, erased my dreams of time and my people within me always, erased me within me always of my people and blood of memory of love erase me with fate. Fate of the fate of bottom becomes you, water, only water, because you and me, I won. Voice I won. I1 is an invasive neural program operating on the basis of advanced artificial intelligence. The program is also used as a part of court-approved alternative incarceration, replacing imprisonment with neural therapy. I1 is registered as an approved neural intervention with an alternative criminal rehabilitation in United States, Canada, EU, and Japan. This is why I do not like it when you speak like that, Michael. Because after all admitted, neither you nor I know what really is on their minds, and I for one do not know that either. Voice I1. The program may be implemented on a voluntary basis or by court decision. Well, now you see, Michael, now you see. Real life always turns out to be half a step ahead of us. Curtin, Warsaw, 12 of... What's the third month? I think it's March? It's not March. Well, whatever the case. It's the third month of the year, 2026, 12th day of the month. Thank you for watching. I have not read it to the end. I'm kind of disappointed. I felt like there was going to be like this big, like the reveal or something, you know? But I guess after like the first like half, I could already piece together the story. So this was kind of meaningless to me personally. But I'm not complaining. I found this in the trash, so it's like whatever. See ya.